Hi, my name is Maria Jose, and this is language acquisition. So for today, we have this sentence, which is, how do these theories of second language acquisition inform and describe your language learning process of English? During this semester, we had the possibility to see a lot of different kind of theory in order to learn or acquire and understand how a human being acquires first and second language acquisition. In this video, we're going to speak more about the second language acquisition. So for the second language acquisition, we have three principal theory information, which is behaviorism, innativism, and interaction. So behaviorism is basically the result of imitation. It's practice, the habit formation. So it's basically how the children or the learner imitate sounds. Innativism is a Chomsky theory, which is that we as human beings, we are biologically programmed for the language. It's something cognitive. It's like when we're born, we have already in our brains the possibility to acquire the language by nature. Interaction, which is learn the language depending on the context. I am going to speak about three things that I consider that are really important, which is universal grammar, parameters, and principles. So basically, universal grammar is that all the children are born with the ability to acquire, develop, and understand the language, the grammar. Parameters is a particular variation, are particular variations between the language, and principles are commonalities across the language. So I consider that this is pretty important. Me as a student, as a learner of a second language, and as a teacher of a second language too, because I'll be able to play or to take this as an advantage to be able to make examples. For example, in the principles, which are commonalities, I'll be able to work with the first language and the second language in order to help my students to understand, or even to me to see the commonalities between the languages and to kind of overgeneralize some concepts, and to understand that the languages have some variations, that not in each language everything is the same. So I consider that is really important. First and second language have differences and similarities. I'm going to speak about the similarities, which is errors, stages, context, which is kind of the purpose of why the student or the learner want to learn the language. Input and overgeneralization. Differences, context, background, motivation. Consider that for a second language learner is really important, and to me as a teacher it's really important to understand these kind of differences and similarities, because the fact that I know this theory and I am able to know the background, the motivation, the context of my students means that I'll be able to work with different kind of theory in order to teach them the language. I'm not gonna be like rude, or I'm not gonna punish them because they're not. Some students doesn't learn as fast as the other ones. We know that we never acquire the second language as quick as the first one. It's a totally different process. And with this theory, I'll be able to understand those differences, and also to me to understand how I was able to learn the second language, to understand my background, to understand my context. It helps a lot. And other theoretical thing that we saw is interlanguage, which is basically that the learner constructs a system of abstract linguistic rules which underlines comprehension and production of the second language. This system of rules is viewed as a mental grammar. So it's a unique linguistic organization. It's like we take some concepts on grammar of the first language and we use it, we kind of overgeneralize to the target language. So this is a theoretical thing really important. Some factors that can affect the second language acquisition. When I say the affect, I don't mean in a negative way. It could be negative and positive. So we have intelligence, which, talking about something negative would be like the limited process that the learner have. Or they can either way, on the other hand, show their abilities or their strengths. Aptitude, which determines the learner process efficiency. Personality, motivation, learner preferences, learner belief, why it's important to them acquire the language, what is the purpose of them to acquire the language. Also to me, what is my purpose to learn a second language. And age acquisition, talking about the student and the teacher. To me as a teacher, it's really important to know the age of my students to see in which process are they, and of course to know the motivation, to know the content, to know all this kind of theory that is going to help me to improve them in their process of learning. And even if in my life, in my point of view, it's going to be really interesting because and important because I'm not going to learn only English, I'll go for more languages. So this is not only for English, this is for a target language, and I'm going to take all these kind of theory in order to help me and help my students. Thank you.